Welcome to the Dickson County High School Football Coaches Show with Dickson County head coach Jeff Tomlinson and Dickson Post sports reporter Casey Patrick. The Dickson County Football Coaches Show is brought to you by Pamela Witt First Lending Solutions, where your dreams find the perfect mortgage match. Lee Canifax with Health Markets Insurance, your local Medicare specialist, voted #1 for health insurance. Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, a truly enjoyable car buying experience, voted the #1 auto dealership in Dickson County. Tim Sutherland with Rolling Hills Realty, where trust meets expertise, navigating the real estate market with confidence and unlocking your home dream. Preston Thompson's Carpet Shop, for all your flooring and paint needs since 1970, voted #1 in Dickson County. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Now, here are Coach Jeff Tomlinson and Casey Patrick.
Hello and welcome to the Dickson County High School Football Coaches Show. My name is Casey Patrick. I'm here with Jeff Tomlinson, the head coach of the Dickson County High School Football Program. This is a new show that we're going to do this year. It's going to be about 30 minutes long. I'm going to ask Coach Jeff Tomlinson of Dickson County, and I'm going to talk to Coach Houston Thiel of Creekwood as well. We're going to do two separate shows for two separate programs. So today we're here with Coach Tomlinson. Like I said, we're going to ask him a few questions after a pretty exciting week last week. Pretty big win, I'd say. Nice. Pretty big win for the program. Of course, getting one over Creekwood, and in your second year, it's a pretty big mark. But the first question I wanted to ask, and I think it's on the minds of a lot of people as well, is how was the mood in the locker room with your guys after that game?
Let's talk about the mood before the game.
Okay.
All right. We get on the bus, and you can hear a pin drop. It was all the way over, no talking, no nothing. They get off the bus, they get their stuff off the trailer, they go into the locker room, and nobody's saying a word. You can hear buckles buckling and shoes hitting the floor. It was creepy. And then we go outside and start warming up, and we come back in about 10 minutes before the game, getting ready to go back out, and I walk into the locker room to address the team, and it is utter silence. Nobody's saying a word. They're staring at walls. They were zoned in and focused. But it was just the opposite at the end of the game, because it was pretty hectic and wild and crazy in there at the end of the game.
Yeah, and it's it's got to be, right? I mean, these kids, that's a big moment for them. It has been a minute since Dickson beat Creekwood, and for those kids to feel that opportunity to get that win up with the crosstown rival, it had to be pretty hype in the locker room, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It was great. It was a great atmosphere. The kids loved it. They haven't won it. None of the kids on this team has beaten Creekwood. So, you're looking at 5 years. Is that what it is? It's been 5 years since Dickson won, and now they get a little taste of it. So it's big to them, especially being that rivalry game.
Okay, now one of the other things I wanted to ask about that game too. I know that they're not a region team. The win-loss isn't that important, but does it feel like there's kind of a monkey off your back now that game's over? You can kind of concentrate on the rest of the schedule that doesn't matter.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. I've said, back last week and different people, this game means nothing. It doesn't mean anything in region standings or anything like that. But what it does do, it really helps you momentum-wise, and you get that little bit of a relief off. Now you can breathe a little bit easier, and you can go into this next game with a little bit more of a, relaxed feeling, and get one more practice game, as I like to call them, under the not scrimmages. These are practice games until the region starts next week.
And that was one thing that, again, and not just to keep talking about the same thing over and over again, but impacting your team going forward. This, and I've said before that I've seen Dickson lose the Creekwood game and it lost the other game because of it. This has got to positively impact your team going forward.
Yeah, today's practice was, it was great. We didn't go outside because it was so stinking hot, but just focused in the film room, and they're watching film and they're asking questions, and they're zoned in, and it definitely has a lot to do with beating their rival last week at open the season.
Okay. Now, one other thing I wanted to ask just about that game and specifically, I know that Creekwood has had a pretty strong program in the past. Now, just taking away the crosstown rivalry part of it, what is it? What is something you think your team can learn from this game? And as far as just as the opponent that they play, what is something that they can learn and use going forward?
Yeah, well, I always say that you make a lot of strides from week 1 to week 2 is when you make a lot of your biggest strides. And offensively and defensively, I thought we played really, really well. Offensively, we got to sustain blocks a little bit better, and we got to, get lined up quicker and get in formations and understand situations a little bit better. And we were okay there, but the one thing that we really, I think, brought out of this game more than anything is the importance of our transition on and off the field, and the importance of being in the game on the sidelines and knowing when the offense is going out there, or the punt team, or whatever team is being called that is to be on the field. Because last night we're screaming and hollering to go for 2 after we scored the last touchdown, and we're running around like chicken with our head cut off. We got kids coming off the sidelines and punters running on the field, and kickers running on the field and everything. It's just they got to be able to learn what the moment of the game.
Okay, now one of the things I wanted to ask you is personally, this game's got to mean something, right? I mean, you were over there for a while, and then now being here, does it mean anything to you other than just the 1 or 0 on the score, or on the overall win?
I would lie if I said it didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, being over there, we had a lot of fun times over there. Coach Daniel and Coach Dog was with me, and I was with them more, we should say. And, we had a lot of fun over there. And then when I left to go to Montgomery Central, it was our region rival game, so not necessarily as big as this one between Dickson and Creekwood, but it was the region game that, you kind of circled as the big one. And we had a lot of success at Central winning that game. And so, I just like to see that keep, that success keep going. I think this is year 12 total that I've played against Creekwood, and I think I made 4. But I think I made 4. But so that's kind of keeps it going a little bit more than just a regular game.
Okay, well, and that's a pretty good record against a pretty good team. So.
Right.
Well, we've only got a 30-minute show here, so we're going to take a few breaks. We're going to take one right here. Y'all don't go anywhere. Come right back and make sure you catch the rest of the show.
Nothing updates your home like new flooring, and we have it all. Carpet, LVP, wood, vinyl, and tile, along with professional installation, warranties, and friendly advice. Preston Thompson's Flooring and Paint, voted #1 flooring store in Dickson County.
Looking for a mortgage loan? Look no further than First Lending Solutions. We make getting a mortgage easy, with no hidden fees and no surprises. We work for you, not the bank, so you can trust us to have your best interests at heart. Get pre-approved in minutes and enjoy a seamless, stress-free experience. Apply online or call us today.
Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, voted #1 auto dealer in Dickson County, a truly enjoyable car buying experience. Friendly customer service and a great selection of vehicles. Visit us today.
There's a lot to consider when it comes to choosing a Medicare plan. That's where Health Markets Insurance Agency can help. Independent licensed insurance agents who work with Health Markets can answer your questions about the different parts of Medicare, when you can enroll, benefits, costs, and more. Speak to a local licensed insurance agent today to get started on your Medicare journey.
If your paint project calls for bold and vibrant neutrals or soft pastels, Benjamin Moore has the design-inspired colors you've been looking for in a full line of durable, long-lasting paints. And they're all here at Preston Thompson's Flooring and Paint, voted '1 paint store in Dickson County.
Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, a truly enjoyable car buying experience. Come see why we were voted #1 auto dealer in Dickson County. Visit stevejonesauto.com.
Welcome back. This is Coach Tomlinson, like I said earlier. One thing I wanted to bring up about last week's game, there were a few plays, of course the touchdown plays, just some things I wanted to bring up. The first one, Ray Dotson caught in Hongsermeyer down the sideline on what looked like a kind of a corner pattern to me. But can you kind of walk me and some of the folks?
Yeah, that play, of course, it's getting later in the second half, and not that we wasn't really pressured for time just yet, but we're getting close to the half, and we try to get the ball down the field a little bit quicker than normal. And we were in a double set, which we have two wideouts on each side of the ball, and And Ray got flushed out of the pocket a little bit. Creekwood brought a little pressure, and he was able to get flushed out to that side of the field. And we were running an arrow corner pattern together. So the outside receivers running the quick arrow route and inside by the corner. And what you're trying to do is you're high-low in the defensive back, and he can't cover both. So if he bails, you throw it underneath. If he stays up, you try to hit the corner. And Ray did a great job of seeing it, and they did a great job of recovering. And it just barely off the outreached hands of the Creekwood defender, and Ben brought it down and took it the rest of the house, and that kind of set the tone, I thought, for going into halftime with a little bit of momentum and coming back out. It kind of set the game tone there.
Absolutely, it did. I think a lot of Creekwood people kind of expected that game to be 0-0 the way the first half had gone, and then for y'all to get that touchdown, that was definitely a big moment. But the first half, I'd say I spent over on the Creekwood sideline. Second half, I was over on the Dickson County sideline. And so I was probably about 10 yards away from that play. And the Creekwood defender, his hands were less than a foot away from
I know.
that ball.
Yeah, you can watch it on film.
Yes, sir. Ray Dotson threw a heck of a ball. I mean, it was a dime to his receiver.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He did a really good job. I mean, like I said, reading the play, getting out of, moving out of the pocket a little bit, and he threw a perfect ball.
Well, and again, I asked you about the mood in the locker room after the game. What was the mood on the sideline like? Because I wasn't over there. What was the mood on the sideline like watching Ben run down the sideline?
Oh, it was kind of like the same thing as what I said before. You could breathe easier. It looked like a little weight off your chest, and you're like, whew, now that's out of the way, let's settle in and play football, because they were, the kids were going crazy up down the sidelines, and we scored the first dagger of the game, if you will, and so but it kind of relieved me a little bit. I was like, all right, now we got that out of the way.
Yeah. Now in the second half, of course, which in my story I tried to explain as best I could, but Malachi Redmond took 2 touches to the house for a touchdown. Y'all brought Wyatt Grambling back into the game to get the running quarterback more incorporated. What kind of happened to me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Coach, but to me it looked like both of those running plays were the same play to Redmond. Okay, so can you kind of walk them through that?
Yeah, it's just a simple toss play, but we did it out of an overset. So we put the over into the boundary or into the short side of the field, and it pulls defenders to cover that over. And then so now you're tossing it to the weak side, which you don't have as many blockers over there, but they don't have as many defenders either. And we saw something from the box. Coach Jones really liked the going back to the weak side, especially to the field, and that's an advantage for us because Malachi Redmond's probably the best athlete on the field. No offense to any other athlete out there,
for sure.
But I mean, you see making some plays that he's made is just crazy. But we give him that much space to run in, and so without him as many defenders over there, he's going to take it. He can get a chance to take it to the house, and he did it 2 times in a row.
Okay, and on some of those like toss sweep plays and stuff where you're trying to get outside to the boundary, how important is it to get really good blocking from your receivers and tight ends?
Absolutely, yeah. It doesn't work if you don't have the receivers. I mean, the receivers have got to be able to block out there, and they can't just stand out there and get in the way. And nothing against our receivers, but we put them on the opposite side to pull defenders away and just have one receiver basically out there blocking instead of 2 or 3. And so it was really just Malachi running behind one Creekwood defender and one Cougar trying to block him, and it works out when you give Malachi space, and then there's not that many defenders out there.
Well, and that was something else too that you had brought up when I asked you after the game. You said that Malachi, you didn't want to run him into the ground in that first half. Of course, he is a talented athlete. Who are some other guys though that might get that opportunity later in the season that you might try to find them in open space?
Well, it's kind of we're still playing around with that a little bit because they all play defense. Elijah Fernandez is going to definitely have his moment on offense, and he made a great catch down the middle of the field during the second half from Wyatt. And he's definitely going to have his moment. Ben Holmsmeyer, who caught the ball, he's going to carry the ball a little bit too, as far as from the toss position and counters and things. Aiden Beard, I've always told you he's one of my favorites because he's so precise in what he does, and he knows everything. He's very intelligent, and he didn't get I don't know if he got a touch the other night, but he will in time definitely get his touches. And then we still got one guy that we're still trying to get back from the injury that happened back in June. Nick Street, and he's lightning in a bottle. So, when he gets back, we'll be ready to go.
Okay, and one more thing real quick on that. Caleb Frazier got a few touches, kind of in the middle, just to kind of fight for some yardage. Is that a guy that you're looking to get? I don't remember exactly how many touches he had last Friday, but is that a guy you're looking to keep in the offense and get them touches?
Yeah, he'll always stay a part of the offense. And, he's because of his physicality and he's big. And this week he's got an opportunity to carry it a few more times just by running the ball. But, the other last week we give him a few touches and some trap plays and some dive plays. But he was in there to block from Malachi for the most part. And, this past week. But yes, he'll definitely always be there will always be a wrinkle that will involve Caleb Frazier.
Okay. All righty. Well, we're going to hit our second break, so make sure, again, y'all don't go anywhere. Come back and catch the rest of it.
If you're looking to buy or sell in Dickson County, Tennessee, call Tim Southerland at Rolling Hills Realty. As a seasoned realtor, Tim knows how to get you the best price for your home. Selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you'll make, so trust the expert. Call Tim Southerland today at 615-720-1568 or visit rollinghillsrealtydixon.com.
Looking for a mortgage loan? Look no further than First Lending Solutions. We make getting a mortgage easy with no hidden fees and no surprises. We work for you, not the bank, so you can trust us to have your best interests at heart. Get pre-approved in minutes and enjoy a seamless, stress-free experience. Apply online or call us today.
There's a lot to consider when it comes to choosing a Medicare plan. That's where Health Markets Insurance Agency can help. Independent licensed insurance agents who work with Health Markets can answer your questions about the different parts of Medicare, when you can enroll, benefits, costs, and more. Speak to a local licensed insurance agent today to get started on your Medicare journey.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try.
There aren't any cops around.
I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Tell me your name, sir. Where you are right now?
Welcome back, and this week, this part of the show, we're going to start to turn more into next week and try to get a good idea of what we're looking at going forward. So, Coach, what are a few things that you want to work on with your team, and maybe something that you have found that you'd like to work on your end of it too?
Yeah, like you said before, we got to do a little bit better job of transitioning on and off the field. So we will do some stuff today or this week in practice where we will have the team on the sidelines and we'll just call, punt team, be out there, and then they'll punt and we'll run the defense out, and then just kind of a mock script in the middle of the week. And then something else that we've always done that I've always done in the past that I haven't done yet this year is have a period of where everything's bad basically that happens. So for example, we could have a pick six, and now who goes on the field after a pick six? So the offense is on the field and they throw the interception, it goes back for we got to defend the PAT. So defense has got to be ready to be on the field. So, that's a quick change of possession, quick change of one team going from offense back to defense in just a split second. And so we'll do that this week as well. That can go the other way too. Same thing. We can intercept the ball and score. And now we got the offense or the PAT team's got to be out there really fast. And so I want to work on that. I didn't really like that the other night, Friday night. I didn't like our transitioning on and off the field. So that's one of the biggest things that we need to focus on in practice this week.
Okay, and is that something that the kids? I'm sure that they know they've messed up, but is that something that they look forward to fixing and they know they?
Yeah, I think so. And I tell you what, a lot of that comes from we're at the end of the game, and it happened a lot toward the end of the game, in last 6, 7, 8 minutes of the game. And part of that's because they don't know how to finish ball games. They've never yet been in a situation where, we're just going to finish this thing out and be done with it. And they start panicking, they start worrying, and oh my gosh, are we going to hold on? Are we going to get, we're going to be able to win the game? And they start getting a little bit of anxiety and panic a little bit. So the more we win, the less that'll be a problem too.
And is that something that just personally, is that something that you're excited about watching their growth in just that area? Just to watch them.
You can see it already. It's crazy how what you from last year to this year. And we played Page and a couple weeks ago, and after the game, or it might have been Monday after the game, I don't remember. One of the guys said, "I didn't think Page was very good." And I was like, "Well, maybe you're a lot better than you think you are." And he goes, "Well, I didn't think about it that way." I was like, "Yeah, so you've always thought about yourself, you as being not very good at football, or the team's not a very good team. Well, you played a really good Page team. You played a really good Beach team, and you held your own against both of those schools that are both 5A and 6A state runners up last year, and you were, stood toe to toe with them. So maybe you're a little better than you think you are, and you can start seeing the confidence in them, and they're like,
And how fun is it in the locker room when the kids really start to see that confidence grow? How fun is it to see them grow like that?
Yeah, we was cutting up and playing, today we was in there. And it's something where everybody's a whole lot happier, and it's a whole lot better to be around everybody when you win. You win, and you're not stressing, and you're not worried about, what's next week's going to what happens and what bad things coming next and all that stuff. And, hopefully we can get that thing rolling right on down. The more it's like a snowball. The bigger it gets, the faster it starts rolling down that hill. So we just got to keep plugging away, and it'll finally take off itself.
Awesome. Now we're going to take one more break. It's going to be our last break. When we get back, we're going to try to preview Columbia Central, try and get a good idea of what they're going to look like next week from Coach Tomlinson here. So again, make sure y'all don't go anywhere. Come on right back.
Nothing updates your home like new flooring, and we have it all. Carpet, LVP, wood, vinyl, and tile, along with professional installation, warranties, and friendly advice. Preston Thompson's Flooring and Paint, voted #1 flooring store in Dickson County.
Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, voted #1 auto dealer in Dickson County, a truly enjoyable car buying experience. Friendly customer service and a great selection of vehicles. Visit us today.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try.
There aren't any cops around. I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Tell me your name, sir. Where you are right now.
Steve Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, a truly enjoyable car buying experience. Come see why we were voted #1 auto dealer in Dickson County. Visit stevejonesauto.com.
If your paint project calls for bold and vibrant neutrals or soft pastels, Benjamin Moore has the design-inspired colors you've been looking for in a full line of durable, long-lasting paints. And they're all here at Preston Thompson's Flooring and Paint, voted #1 paint store in Dickson County.
All right, welcome back, and this will be the last segment of the Dickson County High School Football Coaches Show. Coach Tomlinson, next week we have Columbia Central coming up. Last year, the overtime defeat, I'm sure y'all are still a little upset.
Heard about that. That was 2 weeks in a row last year. We lost to Creekwood in overtime, and then turned around and lost to Columbia in overtime because they went for 2 and got the 2-point conversion and beat us that way. So yeah, that leaves a little raw, bitter taste in your mouth for sure.
The kids remember that too, don't they?
Oh yeah, they remember
that. So they're probably looking forward to this game just as much as you are to try and get some revenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you lose to somebody the next year, you want to get that revenge, especially when it's one that you lose last second like that. They look really good though. I mean, they're a very athletic team, and they got some really big guys up front. They're certainly looked the part. They're going to look like a hot small college team out there next Friday night, and they are vulnerable. They do have some things that we think we can take advantage of, and I think our discipline is better than theirs, and we're going to be, our pre-snap stuff, and they can get sloppy at times, and hopefully we're a little bit better in that aspect.
Okay, now how do they match up like Creekwood? Do they have a different type of offense? What type of offense do they want to run, and how do you think your defense is going to be able to line up?
Yeah, offensively they scare me a little bit even more than Creekwood, and I know Creekwood's got some dudes on there, but they got some. Columbia's, they can get away from you in a hurry, and if they get away from you, they're going to the house.
Yeah.
And they got a couple of guys offensively. They are a little more run heavy, I think, in more of a downhill type style of running than Creekwood was trying to do the other night. I don't know that that's going to be an issue for us, but they're very balanced. They will throw the football some or as much as they're going to run it, and they got weapons on the offensive side. Defensively, they're nowhere near as aggressive as Creekwood. So, and I don't think they're as disciplined as Creekwood on defense. They got some big dudes. Now they got some big D linemen, and their linebacker number 9. He's huge. He looks really good, but they don't blitz it very much. Like Creekwood likes to blitz a lot. They don't blitz very much. And in 9, he's a good player, but he's kind of slow to the ball sometimes. His reaction time right off the bat is pretty slow reaction time.
Okay, and do you think your offense is going to look any different this week than it did last week? You're going to try to do anything a little bit different?
We will. Number one, I think offenses, like I said before, they're always behind the defense, and so it takes them a little time with timing and things to gel more so than the defense does. So just with having a game under our belt, I think we'll be better. But with them being in a 4-man front versus Creekwood was being in a 3-man front, so Creekwood was primarily that 3-4 look. So this week we're facing a 4-2-5. So it does adjust what we do offensively a little bit, and you'll see us under center more. You won't see us running the jet as much like we did last week. But you'll see us probably run the dive. To be quite honest with you, run the dive a little bit more than we did this past week. So Michaela, you can see him.
All right then. Well, hey, if you want to check out Michaela Frazier, make sure you check out the game on Friday night. Come out here. We're right beside the field, so y'all come out here Friday night and check out the Cougars. One other thing I did want to ask you about this game. This is one of the older rivalries when it comes to Dickson County. Is there anything that's been made about that? I mean, you talk about talking to your bosses earlier. Anybody bring that up to you?
Well, no. I tell you what we're doing. We're doing it every week this year. So this is our first home game, and so we're asking any alum that's from when the school started in 1973 graduating class all the way through 1979's graduating class. They get in free. They get a T-shirt. They get we'll recognize them on the during the game. Just to bring back some alumni from that year. So we thought Columbia would be a good one to do the older, because it is an older rivalry.
Absolutely.
And then the next week we'll do the 80s, and then the 90s, and then the 2000s, and 2010 and to current. And we're going to do that every week and try to get as many alumni back as we can. And we've really been pushing the alumni thing. I feel good with, we got quite a few alumni on the staff with Coach Daniel and Coach Brim and Coach Daniel and Coach Dawson and Coach Dawson, and I'm naming them all. So and they're all, it has connections with the alum. And then we hired DeMonte Daniel about a month ago, and he's a younger alumni. And if you know who he was, because the way he played football on the field, I'm sure. But he's trying to spearhead the younger alumni. So anybody 25 to 35, 40-year-old range, he's really reaching out to those guys, because we really want to bring back that old traditional Cougar Pride tradition.
Well, and that's awesome. I told you I graduated from this school in 2010. I think that's awesome that you want to bring the alumni back up here. As a former Cougar, that's cool to me.
Yeah.
But one last question. This last thing I wanted to ask you about. Do these kids know that this is an old rivalry? Do they know, and would they take it as serious as maybe the older folks are going to be in there?
No, they don't. Some of them do. Some of them know that Columbia's always been on the schedule, but they don't take it as serious as the older guys did when they. It's just like in 3 weeks we got 3 weeks. Gallatin's coming to town. So
Okay.
we got Gallatin, I think it's week 4. And, everybody that's around says, oh, y'all got Gallatin back on the schedule.
Yeah.
That was an old
That was
80s rivalry, too. And everybody loved it. Gallatin, was back on our schedule. And when we redid the schedules this year, that was one of the goals in the scheduling was to find those old school rivals and get them back. And Henry County's coming. I don't know when yet. We couldn't fix it last year, but Henry County's coming back on the schedule. When in time.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. That's cool. I love that. I'm glad. I can't wait to see Henry County back on the schedule. Thank you, Coach. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. This is the first time that I got to do this show. I hope I didn't do too bad a job.
No,
you were pretty good.
I don't know about that.
Well, thank you again, Coach. Thank y'all. I'm going to go check out Creekwood Coach Houston Thiel. We're going to have his episode later this week as well. So thank y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening. This is Casey Patrick, Coach Jeff Tomlinson.
Go Cougars.
You've been watching the Dickson County High School Coaches Show with Dickson County head coach Jeff Tomlinson and Dickson Post sports reporter Casey Patrick. Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest on Dickson County football. The Dickson County Football Coaches Show is brought to you by Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, Lee Canifax with Health Markets Insurance, Steve Jones, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Tim Sutherland with Rolling Hills Realty, Preston Thompson's Carpet Shop, and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.